Hi, I'm Plushy Matt, and this is Plushy Matt Reviews Marc Brunet's Art School. This is term one, week 4, and let's jump right into how I got on with this week's assignments. So first off, we have the visual communication assignments. It's just a daily assignment, observing things maybe that I wouldn't normally look at, and then obviously I've been trying to recreate them to kind of make artwork from those things. I thought skulls would just be a fun thing to draw. I then moved on to drawing candles, as I was kind of like, oh, I've never drawn candles before, and that's one of the things that I've been looking at with this is what have I not drawn a lot of, just kind of putting myself out of my comfort zone. And from this, I kind of learned that candles are really boring to draw. Um, Next up, I drew some ribbons. I often hear thrown around that ribbons is a really good thing to practice for practicing drawing hair, and I thought I'd give that a go. I think these came out all right. It's not really a exciting thing to draw, um, but yeah, jumped on Pinterest, got some references, and tried to replicate them as that day's study. And then after these, I then moved on to drawing some shoes. The shoes was something I found really fun to draw. Um, Difficult but fun, mainly because I always think I end up putting like really boring shoes on characters when I draw them, and I've always kind of admired people who can kind of draw shoes good. This was something that I certainly enjoyed practicing, and I think the next sort of pin-up I do, I'm going to take a bit more time on drawing good shoes for them. So the next assignment is the figure drawings, so 60-second figure drawings. It's just keeping them nice and simple and loose as much as I could. I tried to experiment a bit with different poses. I use sort of like gesture drawing tools that just sit them there for sort of 60 seconds each pose, and I try and put them together and figure out like how they would look as loosely as I could, just kind of using like the really basic skeletal formation and add in the volume if I have a little bit of time on any of them. And I think overall, I've managed to kind of get the proportions down on pretty much all of them. Foreshortening was something I kind of fell short of a couple of times. But in 60 seconds, you kind of don't have long for your brain to kind of fire it off. So it's only when it's poses you're kind of used to drawing. Certainly, that was what I found. Stuff that I was used to drawing was easy to draw. And that's why it's kind of been fun to do some poses that I just wouldn't have drawn by choice. That kind of makes these exercises really fun. Definitely kind of uses parts of my brain that I'm not used to using, and you can see in these ones kind of like got me thinking a lot more. It generally like the less form you can see in the gesture drawing, the harder I found it. The closer to a skeleton it looks at the end of it, the harder it was to get the pose right. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how these are turning out. This is something that I've done before prior to doing the digital art school, and yeah, I think it's not something I do daily. Obviously, I've been picking up daily for part of this course, but yeah, it is something that I think definitely I've improved at by doing daily, certainly. So the next part of this week was perspective. That was kind of the big theme for this week. We start off with some 1 point perspective, just kind of getting comfortable with that, drawing cubes in that, and following along with the video course, and then doing 2 point perspective. I found this quite a bit harder, to the point that I'd almost say I kind of didn't get it. Like I get it enough that I can kind of do it from a distance. But when I was trying, as you can see, I kind of tried to, got a bit cocky, tried to show off a little bit. But it didn't quite go the way I wanted it. So then I kind of went back onto following the assignments rather than going off on my own. So then the next assignment was to draw a room with a kind of futuristic style to it. And this assignment was hard. This assignment was really hard. I tried to draw kind of like my living room, but kind of give it a bit of an edge of cyberpunk, as I really enjoy the game, and I thought it would be a quite a cool. Like I like the aesthetic of the whole thing, so I thought it'd be cool to kind of try and replicate it. I kind of tried to do it on my own a little bit, and then as you can see, I started looking up references and stuff of more cyberpunky sort of stuff to try and get everything to kind of have that feel. That's why I kind of like stole those adverts from the actual game. And then you can see here, this is something that's actually in V's apartment, in the middle of the room up there. And then I drew a little plushy me, some more photos, and I think that it turned out pretty good. I think this is certainly to the best of my ability at the moment. I tried to give it a little bit of life to it, because I didn't want it to look kind of like not lived in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want it to look like a showroom. I wanted it to look interesting, and I found that really hard. And yeah, but I think I'm happy with how that turned out, and that moves us on to the final thing. This wasn't actually a requirement as such. It was just something that was a continuation from last week, which was artist studies. So I thought I'd pick up a study of Ronan Dude. This is such a fun pin-up that he did with his character Rufy, and I really like the kind of pose that she's in, and the storytelling that's going on with this. Like, it's really easy to see when you look at Ronan's piece what's going on. Yeah, it's so easy to read. It's such a kind of fun piece. So, and I really wanted to see, like, that's something that I'd love to take and put into my own work. That sort of playfulness, the storytelling in it. Yeah, and I found it really difficult. I found it really difficult. This is something that really frustrated me, and I really had to kind of put myself here to kind of push past those frustrations, to try and work out how Ronan Dude was pulling off kind of the effect, because it's easy to say that it's an exciting, it's a fun piece, it's really playful. It's easy to say that, but it was something that I found really difficult to actually recreate. Uh, but yeah, I yeah, I picked this piece and Ronan Dude in particular because of the fact that he is incredible at background work and storytelling. Um, and when I was working on this, I was tempted to not draw the background. I was tempted to kind of leave those sort of details out and just focus on the main character. But I felt it would kind of be a disservice to, if something that I want to learn is to do better backgrounds, more storytelling. It would be a complete disservice to myself to leave those parts out. And then we come to the final study, which I forgot to press record when, like the time lapse button in Clip Studio. I forgot to press it when I started this one. By the time I'd realised, I'd already kind of like mapped out the figure a little bit, but fortunately, there's a hell of a lot still to go, because as you can see, I really, really struggled with the face on this. It was something getting me so annoyed. I picked this in particular. I don't play League of Legends, but I've always loved the art style of like the Riot Studios, the sort of stuff that they do, the artwork that they do. Arcane, KDA, League of Legends characters all look so cool and stylish, and I really wanted to try and bring the energy of this kind of pose piece. And boy, did I struggle! Boy, did I struggle! It's one thing to see it as like a 60-second time lapse, but when it was the hours sat in front of this, just absolutely pulling my hair out, trying to figure out how to get this to look remotely like it had the same sort of emotion and energy. I really struggled with tipping her head back. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why that was becoming such a problem for me. but that's something that's kind of now on my list of things that I need to study more. It's like the human head in different perspectives. But all in, like as a full piece, I think this looked good. I think if I was to kind of continue this onto like proper line art and color, I think it would look good. It would look doable. Do I think it captured the same energy? No, I don't think I managed to capture the same energy. I think there's some subtleties and small details that I'm just not experienced enough in at the moment. But I think it's really, yeah, I think it's really good to kind of see that this is where I'm at now, you know. And again, like I said with the room picture, this is to the best of my ability. This is where I'm at now, and that's okay. You know, that is okay. I'm okay with that. Um, yeah, and I'm kind of excited to see practicing this sort of stuff, where it goes, where it ends up, and where it takes me. Um, yeah, so that's turn 1, week 4. Thanks for coming in, and see you next time.